Cam Rogers with you alongside Harris Rubenstein here on NBA Weekly. It's time to get into some Boston Celtics rumors. We're going to center rumor number one here on Kyrie Irving. Is he getting traded, Harris? How many heads here?
We're only going to give this one. So this rumor actually does come from somewhere. This was coming from Brian Windhorst, who was talking to Zach Lowe on a podcast, talking about how the Celtics have been listening to trade offers for Kyrie this whole season, but they are only going to move him for a huge offer. So basically, they're only going to move him if they can get back more than what they initially traded away. So remember what they traded for Kyrie Irving. They traded Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, Ante Zizic, and a first-round pick. Obviously, the Brooklyn pick. So star player, quality starter, backup, first-round pick. And that's kind of what I have here. Star player plus a high pick. I think the only way that the Celtics actually trade him is if they get a superstar in return. I don't think they're just going to trade him for scraps. They would have to get a nice haul. And look, I think we've seen in games 3 and games 4, the Celtics aren't going to trade Kyrie Irving. Basically because if you are up 2-0 in a series against the Cleveland Cavaliers and you have to walk into Cleveland to take on LeBron James, that's when you need Kyrie Irving to score 25 points, hit 3 consecutive threes on 3 straight possessions just to make sure that you can stay in the game. I mean, last night the Celtics were down 10 against the Cavs for what felt like forever. They just couldn't get anything going. That's where Kyrie can come in, get a bucket, maybe get to the rim, get an and one. All of a sudden you're down 5 instead of 10. That's where Kyrie is so valuable. But we did put together a couple of trades because I am addicted to trades, stick them directly into my veins. I love them. I love the trade machine. I want them all. So this is the first one that we have.
Insert sound effect here.
Huge kind of collision of worlds here. It's a Kawhi Leonard for Kyrie Irving trade.
Oh, my gracious.
So the Celtics would get Kawhi Leonard. The Spurs would get Kyrie Irving plus a backup in Gershon Yabusele, who's a decent bench player. I think he would actually end up being a good player with the Spurs. He's really athletic. He's a good defender. He's strong as all hell. I think he would actually do pretty well in the Spurs system. And then also that 2020 first-round pick for Memphis, which could either be in 2019, 2020, or 2021 based off of where it goes in terms of pick protections. But I think this trade would actually be pretty good for both sides. The Celtics get a good 5 or a good 3, and the Spurs get their point guard of the future and also someone to match with LaMarcus Aldridge. They will end up paying Kyrie Irving however much money he wants, and they get rid of the headache that has been Kawhi Leonard. So Spurs are an option. I still don't see this happening, but it is a fun one. The next one, this one is what I thought was going to happen with Kyrie when he initially was leaving the Cavs.
Yep.
I thought he was going to get traded to the Suns. I thought they were going to say, fine, you want to get traded? You are banished to a bad Western Conference team. And I thought he was going to get sent to Phoenix. Obviously, he wasn't. But this trade, I think Celtics fans are going to get really, really mad at me for. So I have it being Dragan Bender, who is not good, Cam. Maybe Brad Stevens would make him really good because Brad Stevens could literally make me good at basketball. But I just wonder how much Dragan Bender has as an NBA future. The 2018 number 1 overall pick, at that point, the Celtics probably take DeAndre Ayton or Luka Doncic, which would be an incredible move for the team in general. And then they also get one more first-round pick in 2021, just because I don't think the Suns are in a position right now to trade away players. They can trade picks, but if they want to get Kyrie, they're going to have to trade away a lot of first-round picks, so I have 2. This is an okay lineup. I still think you're missing a young big man down low who can actually make an impact, but they do also have the Heat first-round pick at 16th overall. Maybe they could put someone there.
What about the Minnesota Timberwolves, Harris?
Another collision of worlds. So this is the Karl-Anthony Towns projected Kyrie Irving trade. I went back and forth a lot with this, whether or not I wanted to keep it or change it. We looked over it this morning. I'm going to keep it for now. The Timberwolves get Kyrie Irving, and the Celtics get Towns and also Tyus Jones, who's going to be a very nice backup guard in the NBA. This does kind of leave the Celtics with an open hole at point guard because I don't think Terry Rozier is a starting caliber NBA point guard quite yet. I just don't think he's there. But Tom Downey, one of the other hosts of NBA Weekly, brought up to me that the T-Wolves would still have to do something with Jeff Teague. And you know what? I don't really care. Move him to the bench because this starting lineup is actually pretty good. You have Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler, Andrew Wiggins as your 1, 2, and 3. Taj Gibson had a really good year last year, regardless of how old he is. And then at 5, and then at the 5, you can have a stretch guy in Gorgui Dieng, who doesn't really do anything except hit elbow jumpers and rebound, but with that kind of lineup, that's all he would really need to do. It would make them a little bit better on defense. I think Kyrie Irving and Tom Thibodeau would be a really good match. And also, I just I don't like how Tom Thibodeau coaches, and I think that him coming in has hurt Karl-Anthony Towns' career, and I can only imagine what he'd be able to do with Brad Stevens.
Overall, that lineup, Harris, in terms of playoff caliber potential there.
You have a finals winner in Kyrie Irving, a guy who has hit some incredible shots in his playoff career. Jimmy Butler, one of the most passionate players in all of basketball. And then Andrew Wiggins, who I think could take a page out of Kyrie Irving's book to just become a better all-around player and a smarter player in general. I don't think Jimmy Butler is a good combo with Andrew Wiggins. I think Wiggins, I don't mean to say this, I think he's just too much of a beta player on the court. He's just not a vocal kind of out there player. So I think Kyrie would help him come along a little bit.
All right, so that's rumor number 1 there on the list. Let's get to rumor number 2. Gordon Hayward returning in the playoffs. Harris, tell me this isn't so.
Fake news. I brought this rumor up because every single time Brad Stevens is at a damn press conference, some jabroni decides to ask him, is Gordon Hayward going to come back in the playoffs this year? Could we see him in the finals? No. How many times?
Hey, democracy needs journalism, Harris.
How many times does Brad Stevens have to say no to you people to you to understand that Gordon Hayward is not returning this year? He signed a $127 million contract last year. You think they're going to risk having him come back to play 13 minutes in a blowout loss against the Warriors? No, he is not coming back this postseason. He is going to wait until next season, and the next person who asks deserves to have their press license revoked, because this is ridiculous. We've been asked this question hundreds of times over the past 8 months of the NBA season. I can't take this anymore. Stop asking this question. Fake news.
So fake news on that one. Let's get to rumor number 3. Do the Celtics want Karl-Anthony Towns? I saw a comment about it.
I'm going to give this one 2 heads, Cam, because personally, I think this actually makes a lot of sense for the Celtics. We know that they want to add one more young, versatile piece onto this team, and I think it has a lot to do with the players that are available for the Celtics to trade for. We know they're always in the market. We know they still want one more star player, though it really depends on how they interpret the seasons that Terry Rozier, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum had, and that will kind of determine what they do this offseason. But what I like the most about Karl-Anthony Towns of the Celtics is the fact that he's so much cheaper than Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is no longer getting traded. That's just not going to happen. I can't see it. I just don't think it's realistic. And we'll have a Celtics Karl-Anthony Towns trade for you guys later during our Karl-Anthony Towns trade segment. But for now, I just can't quite see the Celtics making a move for him. But if they do, we'll have the trade for you later.
All right, so for now, firmly in that rumor category, 2 heads on that one.